Let's learn how to solve the Rubik's Pyramid. Also known as a Pyramorphix, it might be easier to solve than a 3x3 Rubik's Cube, but it's still a challenge. But if you don't give up 100%, you too can solve the Rubik's Pyramid. And that's because there are only 4 steps to solving the Rubik's Pyramid. Step 1, turn it into a pyramid shape. Step 2, get all the corners in the right place, even if they're not twisted correctly. Step 3, move all the centers around so they're in the right place. And step 4, twist these corners around so the whole thing is solved. And there you go. And if those 4 steps were enough of a hint for you and you want to give it a try yourself, pause the video and have a go. But if you want to follow along with me and find out how you can turn this into this, here we go. Part of the fun of the Rubik's Pyramid is that it can go out of shape. We can even give them fun names like the pillow, the star, the flower, flying spaceship, or the landed spaceship. And here it looks like I've got the flying spaceship. To turn whatever shape you have into the pyramid, you'll notice that the second last shape will always be this, aka the pillow. Once you've got this, it's just one step away from becoming a pyramid. And fun fact, all of the 5 shapes are no more than 1 or 2 moves away from that pillow. So the flying spaceship, for example, check this out. 1 move, and I've got my pillow, and then I can just turn this straight into a pyramid. Doesn't have to be solved, of course, it just needs to be the right shape. Honestly, this step is best done just using trial and error. So this shape, the flower, let's do this. That looks weird. What if we turn this? Oh, there you go. That's the pillow shape. And that means I'm only 1 step away from turning it into a pyramid. Step number 2, place the corners. The goal of this step is to get all of the corners in their correct place, even if they're not twisted correctly. So let's have a look around this pyramid. Ooh, I can tell that 2 corners have already been put in place, because this must end up being the green side, and this must end up being the blue side. I'm gonna ignore the middles, the centers, just for now. So let's see if the other corners are in place. Since this will end up being the green side, this top corner should have a green piece on it as well, and it does not. So the correct corner for that is over here. How can I bring it in place? Well, I don't want to get it out of pyramid shape, that will be bad. But if I only do 180-degree moves, so that's an entire rotation like this, the pyramid will always still stay in pyramid shape. So that's my tip over here. You can just do as many of these moves as you need to, 180-degree moves, and the pyramid will always retain its shape. And I now realize by doing that, I've sort of messed it up again, but that's okay. I can just explain a little bit more. Let's look around to see what I've done. Ooh, I've got another case like this, where these 2 are the correct corners in relation to each other. This will end up being the red side. If you don't get something like this, by the way, some trial and error of turning 180-degree turns, you'll eventually get a case where they end up aligning like this. So since this is going to end up being the red side, I want red to be on this piece as well, and it's not. It's over there. These are the only 2 that are wrong, and so a 180-degree turn over there. There we go. I've now completed step 2. Note, the corners are not actually facing the correct direction just yet. Well, just by coincidence, these 3 are. This one isn't, but that's okay. I've completed step 2 because all of the corners are where they need to be. All right. And now it's time for step 3, which is moving all of the centers into their correct place. I happened to get a case just then where all the centers are already where they should be. And if you got that too, well, that was good luck. You can skip step 3 and go straight to step 4. But more often than not, you're going to get something like this, where all the centers are out of place. I know that because, for example, well, this should end up being the yellow side once this is twisted, but that's not yellow. This should be the red side, but that's not red. Let's work on the yellow side. So I can move this yellow center over here. Well, not really by trial and error at this point because I'm probably going to mess up the entire pyramid, but instead by holding it so that the color that I want to bring into that side is at the back. And then I'm holding this corner like this. This is the best way to hold the pyramid for this move. So hold it so that the color that I want of the center to go to the middle is at the back, right? Because I want yellow to go down there. And I'm just going to do these 4 really easy moves. This back layer, I'm going to turn by 180 degrees. We sometimes call this a B for back, B2, because it's like 1, 2, 180 degrees. And then R2, right? L2, and then R2 again. There we go. And by doing that, I move that back down there. And actually, by coincidence, I also solved the rest of the 4, which Whew, that was really, really nice. Now at this point, if your centers didn't all happen to get solved, you're gonna get a case like this, where either just 2 need to swap right now, or it could be that all 3 of these need to swap. Whatever it is, I'm gonna teach you an algorithm that swaps these 2 centers that are currently facing me. If all 3 of them are incorrect, doing this algorithm to any side will cause, well, one of them to be solved, and then you just need to do it one more time. This is trickier than the previous one because it's a little longer, and we're also now doing 90-degree turns instead of 180 degrees, but I'll show it to you really carefully. So we're going to hold this anchor corner right here between the 2 that need to swap, and we're going to do this. We're going to go L, and then R, and then we're going to repeat that, L, but this time we're going to do R in the other way, and then 3 more moves. We're going to take this back layer, turn it this way. That's a B anti-clockwise. And then we're going to take R, move that one anti-clockwise. And then finally, move the B back to where it was before. There we go. If I did that correctly, these 2 will have swapped. The centers are done, which means step 3 is finished. And we now have pyramids that look like this. Because only step 4 is remaining, orient or twist all the corners. I know, it would be wonderful if there was a way I could just take this guy and go, and get it in place. But that is not how the Pyramorphix turns. Instead, there's a final algorithm, which is actually quite easy to do. And it's gonna cause this top corner to twist clockwise. So if I do it right now, yeah, that's perfect. This one will be solved. But I think, yep, I'll have to do it twice to this piece, if you can tell, because it needs to be turned clockwise 2 times. And how do you do that algorithm? Well, I never thought you'd ask. You hold it this way, so the corner you need to twist is at the top, and you're only turning the right and left pieces. There's a pattern, see if you spot it. So R this way, and then L this way. They're all 90-degree moves, by the way. And then undo that. So bring R back and bring L back, and then repeat. So that way, and then undo, undo, and that's it. It's twisted in place. Were you able to catch the pattern? I'll do it again to this corner and see if you spot it. So I'm only doing 90-degree turns this entire time. I'm going to move the right layer this way and then move the left layer that way. I think of it as like moving them both like towards the back and then just undo it. Right, bring the right layer back, bring the left layer back, and do it again. Right, left, and then undo, undo. We did it! That is so satisfying. Okay, this is not satisfying. I'm gonna have to do it to this guy as well, right? But I'll have to do it twice because I need to rotate. Wait, hang on. If I start on the left side first instead of right, will that cause this guy to go anti-clockwise? Okay, I actually didn't plan for this in my tutorial, but let me give this a go. So if I go left first and then right, and then now undo, undo left and undo right. Oh boy, let's do that again. Left, right, so both towards the back, and then undo, undo. I am a genius! I am a genius! And so are you, because this is totally doable. That's how you solve the Pyramorphix. That's how you solve the Rubik's Pyramid. It is such a fun puzzle to solve. If you haven't got one already, can I highly recommend that you do so. You can find it at a lot of puzzle or toy stores, but I recommend that you get it, of course, at thecubicle.com because I have an incredible discount code, TINGMAN, that you can use to get some money off. While you're there, check out some of the other Rubik's Cubes as well. There's lots of fun stuff to buy. And if the Rubik's Pyramid got your appetite going for solving even more twisty puzzles, well, check out all these crazy puzzles over here, or even more of my tutorials that you can watch on this side. Thanks for watching, bye!